40 years is a lot of time for things to change. So I might have been a little bit over-hopeful, thinking that I could track down one of my grandmother's sketches from over 4 decades ago. Well, now it's time to head to Portage, and the weather's not looking that bad. It's only about 20 minutes away, but it turns out I was wrong. I was so wrong. Oh man, though, it's bad. So here is the sketchbook. Right here is the sketch. Right there, Portage Glacier. And I would say I would sketch it from the car, but I have fogged up everything so good, it's like impossible to see anything. Okay, so that right there should be it. The trick though is going to be trying to find out exactly where she sketched, because that's pretty far away and there's a couple clues that might help me out, like all of these trees. So I'll know I'm standing where Lou made that drawing when everything lines up, almost like a puzzle piece. But it will only take a few lines to know if I'm in the right place. Yeah, this is gonna be really interesting. I haven't even added color yet and already everything is soaked, but I don't think this is where she was, to be honest. Based on her sketch, I mean, the glacier was gone, but the trees and the mountains should remain the same. So either she used her artistic license and I wasn't gonna be able to find out where she stood, or it did line up and she had just sketched somewhere else and I was in the wrong place. But the people at the visitor center should know, so I headed there. So here's the visitor center, and they might have a better sense of where she was when she made that sketch. Also, it's warm. My grandmother came here in 1985, and so she made 1985, and she made this sketch right here. And I'm trying to make the same sketch in the same place.
At that time, there was no visitor center here, and it was over in that area.
Okay.
And that's where you were taking those pictures from.
So I was way off. She sketched this before the visitor center, or even that parking lot. So there's still a chance that it could all line up. I would just need to keep on walking down the road until it all came together, like the last piece in a puzzle. Okay, so while I'm out of the rain for just a minute, let's see what I'm looking for here. I think those trees are kind of the key. If I can find trees to the left-hand corner, then I found out where she is. Part of me was kind of wishing that she drew a map, but I guess the sketch kind of was a map, leading me on this wild adventure around parts of Portage I had never been to. I think we're getting close. You can kind of see if I just put the branches down like that. But those trees right there, that line of trees right there, that line of trees can kind of scoot over and line up with that spot where the glacier used to be. Then I found it, which is wild because I did not expect to be here today. I was so sure I knew exactly where she sketched. So we'll see. I think just a little bit further and I'm there. A lot has changed in 40 years, so I didn't expect it to line up exactly, which is why I was so surprised when it did. We're on the edge of a bridge, which is a great spot for sketching, and then these trees just happen to be right there. So it all kind of comes together. Although now comes the hard part of actually trying to make a sketch of this in this weather. Based on the trees and the mountains, there's only one place she could have stood to make this sketch, and that was right here. Almost 40 years ago, she sketched the same thing from the same place. Well, kind of the same thing. The elephant in the room was the enormous missing glacier, which had receded so much it was now out of sight around the bend. It's so cool to find the same place, but the subject is missing. I wonder if I go to Whittier, I'd be able to catch a glimpse of it. Maybe I'll give that a shot. In the time it took me to dry off, the sun came out and I headed through the longest tunnel in Alaska, which leads to Whittier. Only in Alaska would it be easier to build a tunnel through a mountain than go over it. Best not to think about how much rock is above me right now. And so after making it all the way under the mountain and through the tunnel, I found myself in Whittier on a pretty nice day. The glacier wasn't going to go anywhere, so I took a moment to go visit my brother and sister-in-law. I don't think I could personally live on a sailboat. I'm a little too clumsy for all of that, but they seem to be pretty happy here, even though it's a pretty cozy fit with them and their dog, Pika. So it was just a couple more quick sketches, and then it was off to go try to find and paint this glacier in what was becoming a sweltering hot day. Well, this is wild. I'm not even gonna need a jacket. It is full-on sunny in Whittier, which is unheard of. So now all I need to do is climb from here to the top of this really giant rocky pass, and if I can make it up there, then I might be able to catch a glimpse of Portage Glacier. No, it was easier to see 50 years ago. The path takes a little bit of a detour with time. I mean, I don't mean to complain, but like, I kind of miss when glaciers would go all the way down to sea level and didn't make us hike all the way up to meet them, especially when it's so hot. I mean, it's probably like 50 degrees, but still, that's roasting. Seeing how much a glacier had changed in the span of a sketchbook made me see this in a whole different light. And so I began to peel my eyes, wondering if the glacier would be as magical or if it would just look like another patch of snow. Oh, nope, there it is, there's Portage. How cool is that? Wow! It was unmistakably Portage. So much more than a patch of snow. Oh. So here's Portage, and so like 100 years ago, all that was covered in ice. And then when Lou was here, actually even down past that little knob was just a massive sheet of ice. It takes going to here to actually see it, but it's enormous. It's kind of wild to think something like that can ever change. I've been told that I paint at a glacial pace, so it was worth getting cozy. But to be honest, my real issue is waiting. As an artist, I'll convince myself that I shouldn't start now, and that I should wait for better weather, or equipment, or light, or confidence. Basically, I needed to wait for a future version of myself to be good enough to capture something like this. That feeling always is the strongest right before I make the first line of the first sketch. But luckily for me, this wasn't the first sketch, because Lou had sketched this exact glacier 40 years ago. If anything, it felt like she was waiting for me. But once the lines are down, it becomes much easier to paint in. It's almost like you're filling in your own coloring book. And this is one of my favorite parts, because you really just get to look, almost become part of the landscape, trying to soak in every color that you can see. All of the blues and browns, the shadows of the crevasses, or the color of the water. The whole palette that makes up this incredible landscape. I get worried about how fast it's changing. I might paint at a glacial pace, but if this sketchbook is teaching me anything, it's that there's no time to wait. This was just one page from one of my grandmother's sketchbooks, and already I had learned that the glacial pace was much faster than I expected. I figured I would wait to try to find some of the rest of those pages, but after painting Portage, I figured maybe I should stop waiting and move those plans up just a little bit.